Hello, entrepreneurs, dreamers, business owners, and happy people with high hopes. Welcome to Cashflows with your host, Cash Matthews.
All right. Hello, friends. It's Cash Matthews coming to you with the show Cashflows, where we talk about life things that might be important to you. And we call it the good life. You know, maybe it's business or personal or spiritual, or it's about your health. We talk about all things that might make your life a little bit better. And we bring experts in who are in the area doing the thing that we all wish we could do. And they're succeeding at an area of life, and we want to pick their brain. You know, Kenneth, in the third grade, I copied off my neighbor.
Uh-oh.
And I had an excellent record until the teacher who caught me also happened to be my aunt.
Ooh.
But she wrecked my educational endeavor by calling me out for cheating. And what I found out in life, it's one of the best things you can do is copy off of successful people.
Yeah.
And but that's frowned upon in school, that we can't copy off of each other.
Unless it's a certification, then please copy.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so we bring successful people in and have a conversation about life and their business and how they got here.
Sure.
And we'll talk a little bit about them and their business or whatever. And then they'll give us a great nugget of advice at the very end. You know, and those can vary from time to time. But our show is Cashflows, and it is just about trying to live the good life. And if you look behind us, you'll see the words fire, aim, ready. And philosophically, I think that's a great way to live life. I think it's a great way to begin an endeavor. So many people kind of go to the grave with the music still in them. And that's just something that I oppose. I think that we should go out in life and try things. And I think we're better to fail while trying than to fail because of not trying. Mm-hmm. You know, one or the other, failure is an option.
Right.
And if you don't try, failure is a certainty. But if you do try, you turn it from a certainty to a maybe. And then, you know, you get a little experience and you learn from people around you. And in a minute, we're going to introduce Arisha Smith. Arisha loves Smith. I want to make sure we get that whole name in here. What a beautiful name.
Thank you.
And we're going to have a beautiful time today as we talk about cakes and things like that. But before we do, let me officially introduce my very good friend and co-conspirator, Mr. Kenneth B.O.N.G. Kenneth, say hello.
Hello.
How are things?
How are things?
Oh, you don't have to repeat me exactly.
Oh, just the one.
Yeah, just that
okay.
one part.
No, things are great. No, I'm having a great day.
Yeah, how you loving the podcast biz?
Loving it.
Yeah?
Super fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting that we came up with an idea, and what do? We fired, ready, aim.
Kaboom.
Fired, aim, ready. Like we're, a work in progress.
Yep.
And what number of podcasts are we on right now?
We are recording number 30.
Wow, episode 30. Can you believe that? Seems like just yesterday we were on 29.
It was pretty close.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're glad to be here. I didn't tell you this last night.
Oh.
I was at home and I still have my old IBM PC Junior from 1984.
Oh wow.
And I was kind of doing some things, and I had an extra AOL disc mailed to me. And you get some free minutes with those AOL CDs, and so I
that still exists
on your your IBM Junior,
on my IBM PC Junior,
PC Junior,
you know that I'd been playing a great deal of King's Quest, one of my favorite games.
Yeah,
that's a fun one. But I'd kind of run out of some time. But anyway, I got me AOL CD. I was able to log in. I was able to get back on AOL. Got into some of the chat rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, there was a guy who said that he knew a little bit about you.
Oh.
And I think it was a guy, his name was Gern Blanston.
Gern
Blanston. Yeah, that was his name. He was, he was from Pryor, Oklahoma.
Huh.
And he was a fry cook at Ethel's.
Okay.
And Ethel's used to be that restaurant, Sam and Ella's.
Okay.
Yeah, and they realized.
But they got shut down?
Well, you can't have a restaurant named Sam and Ella.
That's fair.
So
that's fair.
Yeah, so it's it's kind of a work in progress. And anyway, Gern had sent me a message, and he's like, "Hey, you're on that Cashflows deal. Do you know Kenneth B.O.N.G?" And I'm like, "Yeah, actually, I know him pretty well. Why?" And he's like, "Well, I want to ask him a question. Can you just forward he's kind of mysterious." And I'm like, "Yeah, he's a little mysterious.
Never shows up on camera.
Yeah, you're never on camera. You're just a voice."
Just a voice.
I'm just a voice. The
In
voice
your
of Cashflows.
head.
Yeah, a voice literally in our heads here today. Kenneth is in our head. But he wanted to ask you a question, and I wrote it down here. Do you mind taking a question from one of our listeners?
I can take a question.
This is from Gern Blanston.
Aaron Blanston.
Hey, Cash, please ask this to Kenneth. If you don't get this email, let me know, and I'll send you another. I'm writing this very slowly, as I know you don't read very fast. Man, get to the point here. Okay, I got it right here. Hey, Kenneth, what's a guy like you doing in a nice place like this?
Oh my goodness. I feel like everybody has the same question. So
it's universal.
But yeah, I mean, when you live an interesting life. So here's the thing, actually. We have faster computers where I'm from. I'm actually a time traveler who miscalculated.
Oh, okay.
This is 2023, right?
Ish, yeah, sure.
Ish, yeah. Okay.
For now.
Good. Just checking. I wanted to make sure I got to recalculate some things because obviously, that TRS-80 and IBM PC Junior, we got to fix that.
Yeah, so you're from the past or the future?
Oh, the future.
You're from the future.
Way out of the future, yes.
Yeah, so
like 2024.
So I'm guessing the IBM PC Junior no longer exists in the future?
No. We've replaced that.
Yeah, okay. So what are we computing on now?
Faster computers.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, I
don't want to endorse any specific brand yet. Like they still need to file their trademarks and applications and everything. So I don't want to mess that up.
So in the future what computers look like?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
Well that would be interesting.
They're not beige.
Oh, okay.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right, nobody got time for that. All right.
Cookies in the keyboard and no.
Okay, well it's a different life in the future.
Different life.
Okay, well we're glad to be here today. And did you see my race car?
Yeah. So you just bring your toys into the office, or how does that work?
Well, yeah, pretty much. Actually, this doubles as a mouse, and it's got real. Is it on? Yeah, it's got real headlights.
Whoa.
Yeah, kind of a big deal. And I've got a blue one as well.
Okay.
If you take a picture of these the right way and post them up on your Instagram, and you say stuff like "living the good life," and from a distance they look like the real thing.
Wow.
Like they look like a real mouse.
Does it save you on gas by any chance?
Do what?
Does it save you on gas by
Well,
any
this one actually uses very little gas.
Very little.
The new electric
A small
version?
amount.
Yeah, that uses a small amount of gas. But anyway, well, thanks for noticing that. Well,
yeah.
So our guest today is Arisha Smith, Arisha Love Smith, and she does things that are magnificent. She is in the cupcake industry, a leader in cakeries of the world. We have a restaurant right next door called Ludger's Bavarian Cakery. And I don't even know how good it is. I just love the name. The Cakery.
The Cakery.
And you're in that same industry.
I am.
Yeah, so we want to meet you here in a second. But if you want to find Arisha as we go through, she is at Cake. I want to make sure I say it right. Cake Palate Designs?
That is correct.
Okay. Cake, Palate Designs.com. CakePalateDesigns.com with Arisha Love Smith. Arisha, welcome to our show. Thanks for being here on Cashflows.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We are glad you're here. And I'm not saying I have or haven't, but I believe I've had some of your cake.
Yes, you have.
And I would just want to be honest. I would like some more.
That's
a great thing about
you guys.
You find a good cake, you kind of want some more. Anyway, and
5 stars would eat again.
Yeah, I did eat again. I've embarrassed myself when there's cake involved. So thanks for being here.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You know what? I want to talk about the bong in a second, but I am tired of the low carb, low sugar people. And I try to eat reasonably, but man, every so often, my dad used to say, "Son, everything in moderation." And I would say, "So, Dad, everything in moderation, including moderation?" And he would get mad at me and want to punch me in the head. And I'm like, "So does that mean every so often we should just go hog wild?" And the answer, yes, we should.
Absolutely.
Life is to live, it's to enjoy. And the stuff that you do and the way you do it is phenomenal. I wish we need to figure out how to put pictures on here. I will pantomime a delicious cake.
Okay.
No, I won't do that. I'm glad this is
we actually do have a camera.
Yeah, we do.
We could turn that on if you want.
We need to hide that. I'm sorry, that's no good. So, Arisha, we want to talk a little bit first about the B.O.N.G group that you're part of, where we met, because I don't know how you got there. And
I don't know how I got there either. I think I
well,
just
just to
saw it one
tell
day
your bong
and
story. And I know you've met a lot of great people,
I have.
and you're
Some
one of
I
the great
already
people.
knew.
Yeah. So who did you know in the bong?
I met Micah first,
Okay.
and then I met Gina and Charity.
Okay.
And somewhere along the way, Bong came up. And actually, Chin is the reason I learned about Bong.
Okay.
She mentioned it, and I was like, "What is Bong?" And she said, "It's a business owners network group." I went on Facebook and looked for it,
There it was.
and there it was, signed up, and I've been a member ever
And now
since.
here we are in a 4x4 room with
Here we
two
are.
odd fellas.
Absolutely.
I think that's what makes it go is that we're all so uniquely beautiful and different.
Everyone's talented and friendly and a pleasure to be around.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a wonderful group, and I know you've done a little bit of like your business in the bong, and people have
Yes.
bought from you, and like what's that been like? I mean, you've made a few clients.
It's been very interesting, meeting everyone that I have met. Everyone is so welcoming and inviting. We have a few of us have a lot in common because
Right,
we've met at other venues or
right,
avenues before in
sure.
business. And, it's great to be able to have that group of friends that are professional that you can lean on and call against if you need something.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, my shirts that I wear for my weddings through one of our fellow Bong,
Well, who's that?
Lucy.
No kidding. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Lucy's
Lucy,
wonderful.
Lucy Dawson, Dawson Designs for all of your fraternity jacket needs.
Here we go.
And you've got a fraternity jacket as well.
I do. I
Is that
have the
weird
pink
to?
one.
Is it? I have a pink one also.
Oh,
I
we should
just
have worn 'em together.
what? Oh God, that would have been cool. I didn't even think about getting the pink one out today. I got the black one out today because I think
You
this is actually
you wanted
someone
to blend
else's.
in with
I
the
wanted to blend in so
soundproofing?
you couldn't actually see me, but that's working. But it's kind of weird that a bunch of adults started a fraternity.
I think it's kind of cool though.
Yeah, but I mean, I never got to be in a fraternity, so I'm like, hey, let's start a fraternity.
Well, there
And
you have
I
it.
thought it was just going to be me and Lucy. And
Oh
then next
no.
thing you know, 80 people bought jackets, and we have like a real fraternity. And we don't really have a secret handshake or anything like that, but we're working on it.
I think we should have one. It should also have cake as a sponsor.
I don't
Whoa.
know. I think all my dreams just came true right there.
Yeah.
I self-actualized.
Well,
Sweet
it's been a good
dreams.
show
There
today,
you
All
have
Cash.
right,
I think we're ready
good
to
night,
wrap
everybody.
it up.
Game
Yeah.
over, and somebody turn out the lights when last one to leave. So I'm trying to remember. I met you at an event.
We did. We
Was that the
met,
talent show?
I believe that was the talent show. Yes.
Okay, so that one bothers me.
You didn't get any cupcakes that day.
Ugh. So we were putting on the show, and the show was a success, and there was a lot going on, and I came back and looked, and I'm like, this is the best day ever. And then I came back and looked, I'm like, this is the worst day ever because
I
everything.
sold out within an hour and a half, and
Yeah.
that was including before the show started.
Wow.
Wow.
So I guess that's just the power of having a strong,
A
you know,
strong networking group.
strong group of people that
Mhm.
know you, like you, trust you, and you sold out in night. Yeah, I mean, I was happy for you, but I just wasn't happy with you.
I understand. Several people were not happy. Lucy
Yeah,
came by and she was like, I'm going to grab that one. I'll be right back. She came back. She said, "Where is it?" I was like, "I'm sorry, it's gone."
it's in somebody's belly.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were enjoying
yeah, I
it.
got the same answer. But that was, I mean, that was a great night, though, right? I
It
mean,
really was. A
it,
lot of great talent that was
well,
there.
we are going to have that event again, and we hope that you'll do that again. I
Absolutely.
don't
I
know how
will
it's all
bring
going to work,
triple
and
the amount this time.
there we go. Okay,
Boom.
I'm getting taken care of right there.
Nice.
I
Right,
will have a cupcake with your name on it.
man. Okay,
It will say cash and then bong underneath.
there we go. All right,
Ooh.
specialty cupcakes.
Specialty cupcake.
My life
That
gets.
it cost extra, but
Yeah, that's a $42 cupcake, but she only needs to sell one.
that's
I
right.
sell by the serving, so one serving for you, sir.
I appreciate that. Well, we want to get to know you a little better. Our purpose on Cashflows is to bring people out in the world that are doing their thing. And because there's no way you got here without overcoming a few things, you had
So
to take a
true.
few risks, and we want to hear about your story. And how do you get started in a business like cupcakes? Because I would fail. Like, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. If I was good at making cupcakes, I would. I mean, I'd weigh 800 pounds, and you'd have to.
Some people would think that you would, but when I took this on as an actual business, I stopped eating cake and cupcakes. I do
What?
not I stopped because I'm around them all day, every day.
Right.
And so sometimes it's like, I just don't want anything sweet. I still like ice cream, but I don't
Mhm.
like cakes and cupcakes as far as eating those.
Wow. Okay. That makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
It does not, but it's a
But
valid
well,
reason.
good on you for doing that, man. I mean, so there's hint number one. If you're looking to be a successful business owner, you have to have an element of discipline,
Absolutely.
Yep.
right? Okay. Well,
And
that's
getting started, it was
yeah. Well,
it
let's.
was it was really funny. I call it the damn cornbread story.
Oh, here we go. Okay, bring it.
I was 8 years old. My mom would work. She would start dinner. She would tell us to put on the side items. I would make the cornbread. This particular day, I decided I did not want to make the cornbread. She came home. Where's the cornbread? I don't want to make any damn cornbread.
Oh,
She smacked me.
yeah.
And I called the police and said it was child abuse.
Oh, well, a lot of
Wow.
businesses start that way.
It was a great start. Learning lesson. The police came out. They took a look. He laughed because he asked, "What did you say?" I said, "I don't want to make that damn cornbread." By the time he was done laughing, he said, "Ma'am, I don't see anything wrong here. Have a good day." He left.
Oh.
I got in trouble, but I still made that damn cornbread.
Wow.
you
Oh my
know,
gosh, what a great intro story right there. Did
absolutely.
she let you have some of it?
No, I went to bed hungry that
Oh,
night.
I think the punishment fits the crime.
I cried myself to sleep, but she was planting a seed of greatness. I didn't know. I didn't understand. After that, I was in the kitchen every day, started learning different family recipes, started learning to bake. My first cake I baked was a never fail pound cake.
Mm.
And that one is a family tradition. Every year I have to make that for Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Right?
Wow.
Wow. And all from that damn
All
cornbread.
from that damn cornbread. A box of, can I say the name?
Yeah, sure.
Jiffy cornbread.
Jiffy Cornbread, sponsors of Cashflows podcast.
Whether they like it or not.
Yeah, can you reach out to them and get us paid for that?
Yeah, we'll check on that.
Okay, cool. We
Absolutely.
just want a percentage of sales.
That's right.
Okay. Thanks for that endorsement. So you start baking at an early age. You
8 years old is when I started baking.
golly. So when
Never failed pound cake. And my next cake that I made was a chocolate cake. I learned with starting to bake, you have to fail
yeah.
in order to be great. Because when you fail, you learn how to look back. What did I do wrong? What could I do different?
Mm,
How do I build on that? How can I enhance it? And my chocolate cake is one of my top sellers.
Mhm.
wow.
Lemon blueberry is number one.
Whoa.
Pink champagne with strawberry filling is number two. My personal favorite, Earl Grey lavender lemon, is number three. And carrot caramel orange thyme is number four.
Well, hang on a second now. That she sounds like there was a vote. And
I don't recall being asked.
and I don't recall being asked for the vote. I think we need a recount.
So here's
I
the
need to
thing.
bring samples and then we can take a
Man,
vote.
I thought we had a good lunch today, but I feel like that is just disappearing very quickly
Yeah,
right
my
now.
lunch is just evaporated.
Yeah, it's gone.
I feel terrible. Lemon, blueberry. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
with blueberry filling.
Mm.
I'm a little frustrated right now. It's in the
I,
evening.
I want to plan a wedding right about now. I need a cake. I just need to
We
get that
need
ready. Or
we need
birthday,
cake
something.
samples.
Oh, just samples,
Yeah,
not the
I
whole.
can do
we-
samples.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to hear about when you turn this newfound respect for baking when you're 8. We'll call it respect for baking.
Absolutely.
And then I want to hear how that transmogrifies
Yes.
into a love of baking, into how do you turn that into a business?
Back as a teenager, my brother and I would have competitions. A lot of those would evolve around cooking. He thought he had the best chicken and dumplings. I knew I had the best chicken and dumplings.
Oh,
So we'd invite friends over. We made big pots of chicken and dumplings, and we would make a dessert. I would, of course, make my pound cake or my chocolate cake, and our friends would vote on who had the best. I am the reigning champion.
ooh, okay.
Of course. Of
Throwing
course.
down.
Yeah.
Throwing down. Rest my brother's soul. I miss him, but he inspired me to continue doing
Yeah,
this.
well, he lives on through you from that fire he gave you.
Absolutely.
He gave you the flame, and you keep burning
He
it.
did, and I took his
That is
recipe and
awesome.
combined it with mine to make it even better.
Yeah.
I would never tell him his tasted better, but
Well,
I
I
decided
don't
to
know if you
take it
know this
on.
podcast goes up to heaven as well.
Oh,
So
Uh-oh.
darn, I'm in trouble.
Oh man. It's a wireless connection.
well, it is, but
Yeah.
that's cool. So
Transmitted by cloud.com.
yeah, it is on the
Oh,
cloud. I mean,
the
that's
other sponsors. Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yes.
for that.
Love our
So
sponsors.
so tell me how you turn it into a business, though.
In a business sense, I was on a call at the end of 2021 for a Bible study. And she turned and she said, "You need to start your business plan." Who? She said, "You." I don't have a business plan. I don't have an idea of what I want to do. She said, "Just write the plan." The next morning I woke up, I told my husband, I said, "I want to bake more." He said, "Well, make it a business."
Yeah, okay.
Really?
Yeah, two promptings right there.
It was. And I started researching, and by January 11th of 2022, I had my business registered. I had the name picked out. I knew what colors I wanted just based on my hair.
Right?
And I
That's not
added
your
in,
natural color, is it?
it's not.
Okay,
I
yeah, but it
wish.
is. It is. That is so cool looking. I don't
Thank
know if I'm
you.
ever like I see people with, and I don't know if I'm allowed to comment on that
Of
because I
course.
kind of want to touch it and go, man, that is like, what is that? That's so cool.
It is a synthetic fiber, and I just braided into my natural hair.
That's awesome.
But it spurred the business colors, my branding, my logo. I wanted something fun. My
Yeah.
original logo is me sitting on top of a mixer, and it's my actual image. I had it cartooned,
Wow.
and
Wow.
I just decided to go from there with everything and build it out.
So you're having fun with this.
I am. I love it. I like being called the connoisseur of sophisticated flavors, and
Whoa.
that's because I do not measure my flavorings. I do the basics, the flour, the sugar, and everything that has to be measured for accuracy.
Right.
But my flavors, I just kind of dump. I like how it looks, I like how it smells, and I think it's right, and it works
So you're kind
out.
of freestyling it there.
I do.
So wow,
No two cakes are
no
alike,
two cakes are the same.
ever.
Golly.
Unique.
Yeah.
That's what makes me a great baker.
That's pretty
Everything that I
cool.
do is unique.
I mean, roll that back just for a second. You said that's what makes me a great baker. It sounds like you recognize what you've done.
I am in a sense, I hear it
That's
and it
beautiful.
seems unreal. It's like, did you just congratulate me? Did you say that was exceptional? I don't know what to say when people say that, but I smile and I just genuinely say thank you. I'm grateful because I am grateful.
Of
It's a
course you are.
blessing.
But
It's a true
I'm
blessing.
tying that statement together with the one that you said my mom was planting the seeds of greatness,
Yes,
and they've bloomed,
they have bloomed.
except for me and Kenneth. We're cakeless. That's This whole podcast is a ruse. It's a sham. We thought you would just bring cake.
I will bring some for you and your
Well,
guests next go round.
we have just failed here, buddy. I'm so sorry I let
Oh,
you down. Okay, well, let's just pretend to finish
I got to
these.
remember this next time I sign a contract.
Yeah, let's
Gotta get that
pretend
Must
to
out of
finish
include
there.
these.
cake.
Yeah.
So then your design ability, the way you design cakes and develop them, create them. I mean, that's great how you create things. Compare yourself to other bakers. You don't have to insult them.
Oh, never that.
That's not my
Because I learn from some of them
sure, and
sometimes.
that isn't our point. But like, what sets you apart from the other people who bake for a living?
I am an audio visual learner. I can hear
Okay,
what someone wants and I start envisioning it in my head. I can see an image that they bring. A lot of things are inspired by other cakes. There are
sure,
tons of great cake makers out there, designers that are exclusive and luxury. I aspire to be that one day. I'll see a design, I'll hear what my customer says. If they're face to face, I can read their expressions and how they think about the day. If it's a wedding cake, oh, I want my cake to be. And it's like, that is a lot of love behind that.
right,
And I'll start sketching behind the scenes. And when I get in the kitchen, it never comes out like the sketch,
right.
ever.
Okay. Well, so I was debating about whether to because there's some funny websites out there about cake fails.
I have cake fails.
Okay,
Nailed
I
it.
wanted to delicately. If you haven't looked them up, you should look up cake fails and the way people write on them and how they turn out.
Yes.
And my wife Katie was making like an Elmo cake, I think that's what it was. This is a few years back, and we're all looking at it. We didn't know what to say because it. I mean, it looked. We don't know what it looked like, but it didn't look like Elmo. We'll just say it.
Got it.
Womp
That's how they avoid the
womp.
trademark right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She
Absolutely. Had to be
completely
careful
avoided
with
the
that
trademark on that one.
one.
But there was a Bigfoot guy that wanted to sue her because that's kind of what it looked like. Yeah, Bigfoot filed a lawsuit.
Wow.
I mean, have you had cake fails?
I have
Like,
had an epic cake fail with a wedding cake, and when preparing to make a wedding cake, you ever had deja vu and you see something happen and then it turns around and it happens?
yeah.
Uh-oh.
I had a cake pan on the counter. I said, "Move it because I'm going to knock it off." Immediately, I knocked it off and I just watched it hit the ground, batter all over the floor. I took a picture of it and it's out on my website. And it just
Wow.
says when bleep happens because it happened.
Well, let's read your website out real quick. Three W's, CakePalateDesigns.com, so we can go see your epic cake fail because
Yes,
bleep
indeed.
happens.
It
How
happens.
did you recover?
I just left it there, walked around it for a little bit, cleaned it up, and made a new batch of batter and started over, which led to the cake catastrophe that happened.
Oh, wait, did you say cake-tastrophe?
Cake catastrophe, trademarked by Arisha Love, CakePalateDesigns.com.
All right. Cake. Have you ever had a cake-tastrophe?
No, because I can't. It's trademarked by CakePalateDesigns.com.
Okay, good point. Tell us about the tell us about the disaster.
It was going to be the grand wedding cake of all wedding cakes, magazine worthy.
Mm.
4 tiers, wrapped in fondant, elegant cake.
Okay.
What could happen did happen. Got the cake stacked, ready to go to the venue. I forgot my truck was in the shop, so we had my husband's car. The cake would not fit in the car. That was fail number 1. Fail number 2, I needed to stack the last tier on top. Well, of course, the cake was too hard. It imploded. That
Oh,
was cake
man.
fail number 2.
Oh
And I
no.
was like, let me repair this. Got it repaired. And I was like, how are we going to get it to the venue? I have an hour and a half to get to the venue. 20 minutes away. We're looking, we're calling people. Hey, do you have a truck? Everyone was gone. I met my neighbors across the street for that reason. You have a truck. I have a wedding cake that needs to be delivered. Can you help? I loaded up the cake in the cake safe in a box, taped down, climbed in the back of the truck with the cake, harnessed it so it wouldn't move, and I'm holding on to this box for dear life, riding down the street to the wedding venue. Get there. The venue was smaller, so we only had one way in. Well, everyone for the wedding was starting to line up. We
Oh,
needed to wait in the
no.
kitchen. Kitchen, heat, and buttercream do not mix.
Yikes.
Oh.
That was the fail because the cake just slowly started shrinking. So I found a piece of string, tied it around the dowel that was in the middle, and I'm literally holding the cake up to keep it from falling over. We got to
Wow.
the table to set the cake up, and I was like, it's not going to stay. Do you have a refrigerator that I can put this in? Well, you wouldn't be able to access it until after the wedding. I had a cake stand, I had the string, I hid it behind the flowers, and I wrapped it underneath the cake stand so the cake would stay straight up.
And
Wow.
Successfully delivered, but it was still a fail in my book.
they didn't know that it.
They didn't know.
Wow.
I knew, but they didn't know. To me, that was a cake catastrophe. I learned to be better prepared. Remember that you do not have a vehicle that fits all cakes.
Wow. That is awesome.
Wow.
I mean, so like when they cut the cake, it held up. It didn't.
Oh, yeah, because the dowel was still in the middle. It was
Right.
just the buttercream and the fondant was just starting to move a little bit too much for
I
my
got it.
comfort.
It would have been. I mean, it would have been really kind of funny if they'd cut into it and it just.
And kind of slid apart.
Yeah, and then you could be over. You could run over and go, "What did you do, man?"
I would have been gone by then. I don't stick around.
Oh, you don't.
I don't. Some of my brides invite me to stick around, but for the most part, I do the delivery and the setup, make sure everything is okay, say hi to everyone who came to the cake tasting, and then I disappear.
And you have to walk away from this cake you made.
I have to walk
I
away
don't.
from the
I don't know if I
beauty.
could do that. That'd be like giving away a puppy.
Almost. It's a little bit sad, but I got to see my first wedding cake cut into for a style photo shoot, and I had tears because it was beautiful.
Oh wow.
I was
Hmm.
able to see the joy that it brought to their face in cutting into the cake.
This is fun stuff.
Yeah, it is.
It's wonderful. It's a great feeling to have.
Cake-tastrophe. We need to write that down.
Absolutely.
I think that'll be like we'll work on our nugget for that. Okay, so you've done this a while. You've had some success, obviously.
Yes.
A lot of people know you, love you. A lot of people talk about you too.
And I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, Micah was. I think Micah Pope had told me about you,
Mm-hmm.
and I think probably on that same night or around there. And she talks about you a lot, so that it's nice to you have fans.
In a good
I'm
way.
glad to hear
Like-
that. Thank you, Micah.
She has cake fans.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to find a new word for cake fans.
I don't know. We'll work on that.
Yeah, we'll do that off air
Okay.
I'll hold you to that.
for the sake of
Okay.
our listeners.
So when you're doing your business and you're accomplishing when do you feel like you've accomplished something? When does it feel, and it's more than the money, it's about significance.
Absolutely.
At that point, it's about significance. It's not about success.
It's about blessing someone else.
Yeah.
And being a blessing.
Right.
You know, God gave me a gift that I didn't know I had until a few years ago when I started the business. That's when I really knew that I had a talent and that I was anointed to do this. Being able to speak with my brides when they come by, they walk through the Hall of Faith. My front door to the hallway, it literally says Hebrews 11. That is my Hall of Faith. I pray over that. I pray over my cake orders before they go out the door. Each one of my brides receives a handwritten congratulations note from me, and it is
Mm.
signed, and I just give them a blessing for their future. I feel accomplished when I deliver it and I get the feedback, or I see the smiles on their face, or when they're leaving out and they're saying, yes, we want to sign you for our wedding cake design.
That is awesome. Do you work mostly with brides?
I work with brides, I work with grooms, sometimes the mothers, sometimes sisters.
Right.
They come through, hey, I'm the bride to be, or I'm the maid of honor and I have to do this for my best friend.
Right.
So
But somebody
whoever comes,
could come to you for a birthday cake as well?
absolutely. I do
Okay.
custom birthday cakes.
Yeah,
I do anniversaries. I've had one cake to do for a wake, which was a little bit hard, you
Right.
know. When you're grieving, you really don't know what you want. Just know that you want something that says we're with you to the
Right.
family.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, that's a comfort thing maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good on you for doing that. So, I can't even imagine doing what she does for a living. It sounds awesome. I have no talent
It's hard.
in this
I don't
world.
either.
Like,
Believe it or not, I am not artistic. I cannot draw a stick figure. I felt that
do you believe in
course.
this?
Nope.
Yeah, you just had another fail. Nobody believes you. No, I'm not very good.
That statement
I
is a
tried.
catastrophe.
It is a catastrophe.
So what's a normal day like for you
I get
besides
up,
podcasts?
I start work because by day I am a cybersecurity analyst for a hospital here in Tulsa.
Oh.
Ooh.
I'm originally from Plano, Texas. The hospital moved me here for this position. I've been
Right.
here a little over 7 years.
Wow.
So I work by day, field a few phone calls in between meetings, and take orders. As soon as I'm off work at 3:30, I go straight to the kitchen. And sometimes I'm baking until about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
I try to keep it as one day. Sundays are my normal bake days
Right.
or a Saturday.
Right.
But depending on what I'm doing with my family, sometimes it doesn't work out like that. So I'm baking Monday and Tuesdays. Wednesdays, I start crumb coating all the cakes. Thursdays, I start decorating, unless the cake is due before then. And then, of course, that one is done first.
Right.
And so I have refrigerators that are full of cakes that are crumb coated with Post-it notes so I know who they go to and don't mix them up because I have had one mix up.
Okay, so that would be kind of funny. So let's talk about funny moments in the cake world. We have one. I've got a visual of you like holding a cake with like your legs hanging out the back of a truck and you're trying to hang on to it and they're going 70 miles an hour.
Braids
and going
flying in the wind.
Yeah, that's such a great visual. What are some of the funny stories?
Funny story is I had a cake. It was 3 tiers, had it all put together, fully decorated, and I realized I had the wrong middle tier. I had to take it completely apart, take all the buttercream off, switch out the cakes, and redecorate it.
And that's funny to you?
It was funny because it was 3 o'clock in the morning and I was delirious.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
man.
so that's a funny one.
That is a funny
the
one.
other one where the cake was melting, that's kind of funny.
In hindsight, yes, but I cried from the moment of realizing that I could not get the cake there because it did not fit in the car all the way until I finally got it set up. I was crying.
Yeah. Is that
Mm.
the worst one, or do you have another one that's
That
the
was the
worst?
worst one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only cake catastrophe that I have had, thankfully. Mixing up the cakes in between, that was the second one, and life is still going. We'll see what happens next.
All right. We are here with Arisha Love Smith and CakePalateDesigns.com. And we're going to take just a brief commercial break to say thank you to our sponsors. Kenneth.
All right. In our list of sponsors for today, we're going to highlight Elevate Coworking, the comfortable place where we are right now. This is a place where local business owners connect, collaborate, and grow. We offer a community of tools and resources to fuel your passion and your productivity. Elevate your future with us, where success is not just achieved, but celebrated together. Elevate Coworking.
One of my favorite places in town. You know, it's new. The co-working thing is really serving entrepreneurs. And this building's just full of people like you and me that just have this dream and they just wanted to jump on it and go forward. And
That is
it's
awesome.
so neat to have, and we're all different industries really. And like that, video production,
Mm-hmm.
financial guy, cake person, sorry. Um, but we're all kind of in it together. And it's such a unique concept to be here in a co-working space.
Yeah.
Yeah, my last office was like 11,000 square feet, my
Wow.
last big office, and my office now is 180 square feet.
Talk about downsizing.
Oh yeah. It's kind of interesting, but well, let's. I want to learn a little bit more. We've learned about cake catastrophe.
Yep.
We've learned that her mom planted the seed of greatness, and
Brought to
I
you by that damn cornbread.
and brought to you by that damn cornbread. Um, well, let's. I don't talking to somebody who's had great success. I mean, you're successful.
I am.
Yeah.
I am
I
truly
wanted
happy
to
at that.
I wanted to hear you say that you're six. I was giving a talk the other day in front of 120 kids, and one of the young kids said, "Are you successful?" Nobody ever asked me that.
Wow.
Not my mom, not my dad. They had no idea. And it was a 12-year-old kid who went, "Hey, are you successful?" And it was a neat conversation that happened. But you've made a success out of something that you're passionate about. You're helping
Yes,
people. You're sharing your faith in the process.
absolutely.
And it
That
see
is
and it
very
and I may
important.
not have it right, but it seems like you're having a kind of like a fun time with this.
I am having a fun time. Getting up, the idea of walking into a kitchen every day to some may be daunting, but I look forward to it. It's a moment of peace for me.
Right.
I have clarity when I'm in the kitchen. I put on my music. My family can come around the corner and I'm probably just la 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 dancing in my head. May not even have any music on, but the music is baking. It's the
Well,
passion that I
yeah, the
have.
music's in you too.
It is.
So, okay, what do you listen to while you're baking?
Sometimes R&B, sometimes Christian, sometimes a little bit of hip hop. When I'm on a roll, really, I get into country. No one
Oh,
really knows
okay.
that, but I love country
All right.
music.
Who's your country guy?
I like Brooks and Dunn.
Yeah.
I like the greats,
Yeah. And
the
they
classic music.
right.
That's what
Yeah,
I
a
stand
lot of
on.
the young guys in country are kind of poppy, pop music-ish and rappy and
There are
Mhm.
some, but I like the old heartbreaks. Neon
yeah.
Moon is my number one favorite,
Okay.
so I will sing that sometimes at the top of my lungs. But I'm having fun.
All right. Well, there you go. So a lot of the country guys are rappers now.
Hey.
And so like I came up with this word country rap and then I shortened it to C rap. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
that didn't look very good on an
Yeah.
album.
Right.
So you
Right.
anyway, that was funny to me. I apologize for that. Well, how did you come up with the name? Did you just get that joke?
No. I got it. I was just deciding whether or not I was going to reply.
Okay, well, it's a time release joke. So you might get that at like 3:30 in the morning. You go, "Oh man, that C rap
I
joke was
see it now.
that C rap joke was kind of funny." A lot of my jokes are time release,
That's
and most
okay.
people get them between the minute I say it and never. So there we go. All right. So tell us about the name Cake Palette Designs. Where'd you come up with that?
I was brainstorming with my best friend. That's who I bounced some of my ideas off of. And I was like, I keep seeing the design in my head and I want to do cake. I want it to taste good. And I was like, wait, cake palate, because your palate is your tongue. That's where you get
Right.
all your good flavors from.
Right.
So Tasty Cakes didn't sound right. Cakes by Taste didn't sound right. I was like, let's just go with Cake Palette and then add designs on because I'm designing flavors for your time,
Yeah,
your
is this your
cake.
logo on your shirt here?
That is my logo on the shirt.
That is awesome.
Thank
Very cool.
you.
So I want to back up. I missed something when you were in a prayer group and
hmm
somebody said start a business. Was that just something that occurred to them, or were
She
you
said,
talking?
write the business plan. So I think she was just prophetically speaking into my
That,
life.
that's what I'm trying to find out because you kind of glazed over that a little bit, but that seems like bigger than we talked about.
Absolutely. I wasn't expecting it. I asked, who are you talking to? She said, you, write your business plan. This was on December 31st of 2021, 9 o'clock
You're
p.m.
in a
when I was
prayer
told
group. A
that.
friend of yours just says something obscure,
Yes.
and now you're here being interviewed about your cake business that
And
came
I
from
make
that
sure
very
I
business plan.
mention that every time I
That's
was in a
that is.
prayer group and told to write a business plan, and here I am.
But out of nowhere, you weren't like, "Hey, I'm looking for something to make money."
Not at all. I never had a thought about being a business person. I did not want to be an entrepreneur. My goal is actually to get my master's degree in psychology through seminary. I want to be a marriage and family counselor
Oh
Hmm.
wow,
and do it biblically, what the
right?
Bible teaches us to do, what we should stand on, what we should believe and not believe or not do. And here I am making cakes.
I think it's awesome. I mean, that's a really cool story, and I wonder how many people out in the world, Kenneth, follow those promptings.
You would be
You,
amazed at how many people may not recognize that it's a prompt.
well, that's kind of where I'm headed with that. So often there's, I think if you give God a chance, but God doesn't need to steer a parked car
At all.
at all, and sometimes we just sort of have to be in the equation.
Be
You
in
know,
the car ready to go, kind of like your mouse. It's ready to move when you're
it's
ready to
red, but
move.
it ain't gonna move until I grab it.
Exactly.
And I think there's a great lesson in what has happened in your life. I mean, what a cool story. I don't think many people recognize when they're being prompted, or maybe I don't know. I work exclusively with entrepreneurs in the Bond group because it's
hmm
5,600 entrepreneurs, and I try to. I've talked to 1,100 of them one on one.
Wow.
Yeah, in 2 years, and I want to talk to all of them.
You
And,
still have a voice?
oh yeah, yeah. Well, I try to listen twice as much as I talk, but I want to hear their story. My ears are worn out.
You learn a lot when you listen.
Yeah, you got two ears and one mouth. You should use
hmm
them in that, like in that proportion.
Absolutely.
But so many entrepreneurs are worried about what it is they think they aren't, rather than what they actually are. And I think that's where they miss some of these promptings that might, clue them in. Hey, turn left or go this
And some
direction.
people may view it as, well, this is just a hobby. Do you have the passion for it?
Yeah, so was Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Exactly. And look at where the Colonel is today.
Yeah, and he started that when he was 60.
Wow.
Well, I want to say 63 because I'm 62. I don't want to think, wow, the Colonel was younger
Mm.
than me.
Right,
He was
right.
a child. Yeah, and I mean, that was just a thing. It
hmm
wasn't like he said, hey, I'm going to go create a great chicken recipe and everybody's going to buy it and I'll get
With 11 herbs and
11
spices.
herbs and spices.
Sometimes my cakes have 11 herbs and spices.
but my chicken has 12. These go to 12. So, all right. Well, yeah, that's I really love that part of your story, Arisha, that somebody had a prompting and
hmm
here we are talking about it a couple years later.
Couple of years later, and it's still going strong, and I
And
still have the passion and drive for it.
and is that person still in your life?
Yes, she
Yeah.
is.
Does she get preferential cake treatment?
No.
Oh, that
She's in a different state. Otherwise, I definitely would make sure I ship something to her.
okay. Well, I
In the future, maybe when I package some of my recipes, I'll just make sure she gets her own personal box and I'll sign it.
well, what an interesting thing how God used her to breathe into your life.
Absolutely.
And I think sometimes I don't know, it's sometimes intuition is just God tapping you on the shoulder.
It is.
And I'm one of those. I need a big demonstration. I need
I
flyers
need
and
that.
and explosions and
Come sit down
clouds
and
and
tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, Arisha, this is for you. I
yeah,
need you to do this.
yeah. Be
And she
still.
was my tap.
Yeah, be still and know that I am God.
That is what he
And
says in
boy,
his word.
I wish they would rewrite that one. like, hey, I'm God and I'm going to explode some things around you so you'll know that it's me. But it isn't. Often it's those quiet promptings.
And it is, but he tells us he will perfect that which concerns thee. And
Wow.
he is perfecting my business and my walk, and I stand on that.
I wished I had something to add to that. I don't.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much the end. I think we just have to add the sound there.
Yeah, there we go.
Because
That's what it
that's
sounds
money
like when
right
those
there.
orders come through.
That's right.
That is right. Yep.
We are here today with Arisha Love Smith, and she is with CakePalateDesigns.com, an esteemed local baker of cakes and does weddings and personal cakes and birthday cakes. And if you're watching this podcast and don't like cake, I don't know, man. Go
We
watch
have more podcasts.
Go watch Joe Rogan. I don't know if he likes cake. So, Arisha, we want to wrap this up today. First, say thank you, but we want to get a nugget of wisdom where our listeners and viewers can copy off of you.
Okay.
What is it you'd like to share with our friends out there in podcast world?
Know that when you start a business, it is more than just starting a business. Do your research, find a mentor, make sure you understand what your state laws are, make sure that it is something that you actually want to do and that it's not a hobby. You can always sit a hobby down and pick it back up.
Right.
But when you're passionate about it and it drives you, see it through to the end, but definitely have a business plan. Be prepared for anything that can come your way. Make sure you can pivot quickly in the moment because sometimes you have to in order to avoid a catastrophe.
The cake-tastrophe. There you have it from Arisha Love Smith. I want to thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
This is definitely one of the most fun podcasts we've done. I've enjoyed it. And I think you triggered me somehow. I don't know that I like that a lot. Kenneth, you ready to wrap this up? And
Yes, let's do this without a podcast-tastrophe.
a
I like
podcast-tastrophe.
that.
Ooh, man, our vocabulary. We're with Arisha Smith, planting a seed of greatness. What
I like
a topic for your conversation today, and thank you for that. So we're glad that you all stopped by here for a little while and looked in on Arisha and Kenneth Bauckham and myself. We hope that Cashflows podcast has some meaning to you and that you would just love to share it with one or two of your friends. And if you hate it, if you would, share it with one or two of your enemies. That would be equally appropriate, and we would appreciate that. So thank you to our sponsors, Clarence Shaw, cmcustoms.com, Lori Zeller, Elevate Coworking, Mr. Kenneth Bauckham with, say the name of your entire company so I get it right.
Kenneth Bauckham Photography.
And video?
I do video, yes.
Okay, but it's just Kenneth
It's just
Bauckham.
not the name, yeah.
Okay. Well, if we put in your name everything that you did, it'd be too long.
I'd need a double-wide business card.
Yeah. And ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
All righty. Well, until our next show, thank you for being here. Be nice to one another. Love one another. The greatest of these commandments is love. And I've got some great advice for you. And for some of you, this will breathe life back into your life. And that is find somebody who does not deserve it and forgive them for no apparent reason. Forgiveness is not about the other guy. It's always about yourself. And I think that'll be a positive step forward for our listeners. Thank you for being here. For our 3 listeners in Wetumpka, Oklahoma, we are so thankful that you're here. And for the 3 of you, Eddie, Earl, and Earl II, who continually like our posts on Facebook, Kenneth and I are running down to get some jerky down at the Quick Trip. If you want to meet us, we'll see you there. Thanks for stopping in.
That's our show for today. Stay tuned for another riveting edition of Cash Flows.